Dallas Cowboys, what's going on? Why this thing always come on every time I get ready to hold up? This thing is annoying. There we go. Every time I get on live, this little pop up want to come up on there. But I just wanted to come talk just for a hot second, Cowboy Nation. Right? Football is still football. Now, granted, as when it comes down to this football stuff, you got many viewpoints, many way of doing things, many way of seeing things. The only thing that matters is success, right? You got many different schemes. Only thing that matters is success, right? But no matter what these people try to go ahead and change the name to, I'm gonna tie this into Cowboy football. Trust and believe that. No matter what these new age schemes, like some of this new age stuff, I think is bullshit. Now, I'm gonna just be honest with you. You know, you like they got all these little fancy names to do a whole bunch of nothing. Football is still football. Football is still about beating the other man's ass in front of you. That's football is still about imposing your will in front of you. Football is still about being fast, physical, and smart and being assignment sound. No matter what fancy ass stuff that these people try to put in, guess what? Your assignment is still simple. Whether a D tackle has a gap and a half, two gaps, it doesn't matter. Still the same thing. When it comes down to being a successful quarterback, some of the things that you must do is still the same. No matter how much these people want to go ahead and claim the game has evolved. You can only protect the weak ass player so much. As a linebacker, I don't give a damn how much of a passing lead they say that this is. You still need a hit. And we ain't seeing too many people really coming out and hitting and really being physical. What we see is soft ass football. People right? And it's crazy, man. Warren Sapp. It's like, you know what I'm saying, my people, my Cowboy Nation family on here that follow me, and like Warren Sapp is damn near like the only like being like in a minority when it comes down to when we see what we see in a player, like for example, Michael Parsons. When a lot of people see him, they just think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But then when you break it down and look about what a football player is supposed to do, what is a great football player supposed to do? It's not hard. You see, everybody got these dumbed down expectations and these and 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 they want to go here like they got soft. Like a lot of these coaches, a lot of these players got softer with the times, and they making excuses with the times, and that ain't good. It's just like what do you call them? What Warren Sapp call him? Betty Parsons or something like that? Because he say, man, when it comes down to when it comes down to making big plays, big time plays in big games, he's nowhere to be found. When it comes down to his body of work, who did you do it on? How did you do it? What do you do? In the technical side of your position, do you do that? No. No. Like, I got like people, right? And that's fine because I'm pretty sure I'm going to piss a whole lot more people off as I go ahead and give my thoughts in regards to Cowboy football. No matter how much bullshit technique you try to make excuses for these players to say, oh, they was doing this, they would no 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 no. Football is still football. And one thing that we've been seeing is Cowboys' point of view, we've been seeing some pussy ass D tackle play. Some pussy ass D tackle play. I don't give a damn how much intent that you thought you were. For example, there's a there's there, I see it's like half that think Mozzie Smith did good, and half didn't think that he didn't do too well. I'm on the end that I don't think he did too well. He tried. He tried to be physical. He tried to control his block, but no matter what he did, it wasn't good enough because he has physical limitations. It's just like with Hoffman. No matter how sharp you think he would try to be technique wise, he still won't be good enough because he has so much athletic limitations. He's a limited athlete. So it don't matter how smart he is. If you can't get it done physically, you ain't shit. It don't matter how hard Mozzie Smith play. He's too goddamn small. He too small. 305 pounds. And he might not even be that. You think a motherfucker like that gonna hold up during the season? Hell no. You gotta see the bigger picture when we watching. Just like, when I had to sit over there and see the bigger picture in regards to Cooper Beebe in the Hoffman competition. At first, I'm like, you know what? And what this team need right now, I'm like, we gotta go with Hoffman. But then when I looked at some game reps, I'm like, hold up. I had to chickadee check myself before I wrecked myself. I'm like, hold up. We gotta roll with Cooper Beebe. That's why in my film session, I was like, you know what? I'd rather take the occasional mental lapse, the occasional technical lapse, maybe a bad snap here or two over the course of 60, 70 plays. I'll take 5 bad plays over 65 good ones. With Hoffman, I don't want 70 good technical plays, and 15 of them he getting his ass whooped because he just ain't good enough physically. Bro, no matter how much these people think the game is evolved, they want to got all these fancy ass that they call for basic ass stuff. An out route still gonna be an out route. An in route still gonna be an in route. A curl gonna always be a curl. A hook gonna always be a hook. A post gonna always be a post. A corner gonna always be a goddamn corner. A 9 route, a vertical route is gonna always be that. Always. You know, so you always gonna have such and such gap as responsibility. I ain't not know about one D tackle that got 3 gaps as a responsibility. Not one. The technical part allows you to do your job and to control what you need to control. That's the problem. Not only with the NFL, but it like with the Dallas Cowboys. One thing I like about what Mike Zimmer doing right. He continued in the experiment that Dan Quinn was trying to do, and he see that shit didn't work out. I said for the longest, why the hell is Ghostin trying to play three tech? Why the hell is Viliama Fuhoku playing three tech? And I read an article today. They kicking out to end permanently. The way that they should have been. So regardless of him trying to experiment or not, he realized like, yo, them boys can't play that. Now let's talk about Jordan Phillips, the newly acquired D tackle. Jordan Phillips is an upgrade over what we got. But as I mentioned in the film session, he is hot and cold. When he is hot, he can play football. But that means that this player is inconsistent. Why the hell would the Giants give us that type of player within the division and they're trying to compete against us? And the compensation wouldn't just like, oh my God. There's a reason for that. Now, I'm not saying I'm against the pickup, but I'm saying we got to look at the bigger picture. We looked at some of the clips from the preseason game, and hey, my boy was on skates some. And as I mentioned in that film, he too goddamn big to be on skates. Now, there is more than one way to skin a cat. And I believe that Zimmer, as he gets familiar with him, he's going to have to put him in predicaments to be able to use his quickness. That's how you're going to get the best out of him. Is using his quickness. But he going to have to go ahead and get on his grown man hype, though, and play some goddamn ball. Over the past couple years, man, I think how long I've been doing this Cowboy content. I think this is my third season now. Going on my third season. Over my third season, we didn't had a lot. We didn't seen a lot. We didn't gave players chances. We didn't seen some things, but at the end of the day, y'all know and I know, regardless of what they try to go ahead and give, the opportunity wise, that a player just ain't gonna go ahead and meet them expectations. And part of this is like with this, right? Mozzie Smith, bro, he's just, I don't know what the hell he is thinking, but he gonna have to do something about that weight. I don't give a damn what type of technique he tries to play with. I don't give a damn if he try to improve his get off. Maybe that's because of his weight thing. The type of aggressiveness he wants to play with. None of that matters because you know why? He doesn't have a grown man body to play a grown man position. So if you a little ass boy playing in the NFL, does it matter? Does it matter that you a stud in high school? No. You playing against grown ass men, other studs. Evidently, the power, right? The formula to Mozzie Smith even being in the predicament he was to be a first round pick, it was because of his weight. It ain't a coincidence that when you lose all that weight, you're going to lose some of that power. That's automatic. I don't give a damn how much weight he lift. He is too small. And you dealing with other that lift them type of weights too. You are too small. We got to keep it real. Carl Davis, right? If anybody looked at the film, Carl Davis has some snaps where he stayed square beautifully and got off. That's what you need. Carl Davis don't have the best get off. He ain't the best player. Evidently, the scheme that they tried to bring him in last year wasn't the best fit in what Dan Quinn was trying to do. But with Zim, it works out. Zim want the big boys inside. So you got to be a grown man inside. You got to have leverage inside. You got to have accuracy with your hand placement inside. You got to keep the right spacing and get into the offensive line first. You got to be first. If you first, how could you be last? If I get into somebody first and I'm able to control him, then that gives me a better chance to go ahead and get off this block and go make this play. But if you misfiring with your hands, you allowing the offensive lineman to get in you. And especially if you're not strong enough to try to recover, it ain't gonna work. You see, one thing that I don't see no more from these D linemen. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I don't see recovery drills with their hands, right? I don't see drills where if the offensive lineman get in their chest of them getting them hands off of them and then replacing. I don't see them drills anymore. So I don't know if they're doing that on their own time or what, but I don't see that no more. Nor do I see that being displayed in the games anymore. I don't see it no more. Technique is damn near gone. Pretty soon you're gonna be seeing football with just a whole bunch of athletes playing. Don't know what to do. It's just like basketball. Motherfuckers don't know how to make no entry pass. They ain't got no post game no more. They don't got the fundamentals. And you're not seeing the fundamentals no more. You ain't seeing the fundamentals no more. Get offs are slow. Like you can see, right? How I was taught to get off that ball, right? Soon as that ball, like the tip of that ball, as soon as that ball move, you gone. Now we see like a second delay, and then they want to go and hurry get it off. Their reflexes, they reaction times is off. They not working it. Like soon as that thing move, you gone. And if you wouldn't go as soon as that thing moved, you had to do it over again. Or we doing up downs. We doing like 10 up downs until you get off and it's crispy. That ain't happening no more. Zim gonna only be able to do so much. But these players today is just weak as shit. They weak. They weak-minded. Things ain't crisp no more. I mean, hopefully Zim will go ahead, evidently from what I'm seeing, Zim is attempting to go ahead and get these players to try to play with some fundamentals. You can see the difference of what Zim trying to do right with Mozzie. It's just that we ain't gonna get the full thing because we ain't gonna be able to see if he could actually truly do it because he ain't got the weight. And if Mozzie want to stay in his weight, like I said in the film session, his time as a Cowboy graded, this could be his last year. If it get that bad, this could be his last year. And do you honestly think, with so many stud-ass offensive linemen that we get ready to go against, do you honestly think that he gonna do something? Now, these are second and third stringers that we done win against in that preseason. Do you honestly think that he gonna do something when we go against better competition? That man wore down at the end. It was on full display. I made an effort when I was watching it live to see, and I caught it live. See, sometimes, like right when you watch the all 22, sometimes you don't get the context. You don't get to see like, okay, what down the distance was this again? What was a circuit? What was a field like? Sometimes, like, that's why sometimes, like, I watch the live game to get that feel, to get that feel of the moment. Because you got to get that feel of the moment. And like all 22, like you're looking at the technical part. You're looking at the technique, what they ran, what coverage they might be in, right? You're looking at more, but you don't get that feel though, like you did in watching that real game. And when you seen the pace live, and you seen the way that he wore it down, that's because of his body ain't up to par. It ain't up to par. Just like I don't get why the hell they asking Micah Parsons to be light. That shit don't make no sense. If the majority of what he's going to be doing is going to be in the trenches, that shit don't make sense. Who is giving me and these are supposed to be professionals. And that goes to show you these professionals ain't really professionals. Just because you got the word pro in front of your occupation don't mean you really a pro. Like if Mike is gonna be playing linebacker at times, taking on these blocks, taking on fullbacks. Because if he playing line, he gonna have to take on fullback. If he's shedding blocks, getting off tackles. I mean, I don't see the Cleveland Browns asking Myles Garrett to come in at 230, 240 pounds. I don't see that. Y'all see that? Because I don't. And it ain't like he got that wiry strength that it ain't like he got that wiry strength like Tank. He don't got that. He got that explosive strength. And if somebody's able to combat that, then he's in trouble. He in trouble. It's just like with Dak. Oh, Dak is a great quarterback. Dak can do this. He's an MVP. How? Because the expectations, the quality of the game is scrub like. So he was able to go ahead and perform amongst scrub like expectations, and like it's watered down. It's watered down. People think average is great now. It's watered down. But then when you get to the playoffs to show what you're really about, what do? Nothing. So how are you great? How are you great when you don't perform in the biggest moments? You're not. How are you an elite safety and you don't have elite cover skills? How are you a complete safety and you can't hit? Make that make sense. How you a good corner? How you one of the better corners in the game, and what you do best is playing zone. Man on man, you struggle. That doesn't make sense, right? You need to be complete. You need to be Derail Revis. You need to be Champ Bailey with this shit. Deion Sanders with this shit. When you think of them names, what do you think of? Good man on man corners. Because at the end of the day, it's mano y mano. When the Chiefs made that adjustment in the Super Bowl, they made it mano y mano. That's why that boy got paid in Tennessee, because he could cover his ass off one-on-one. This ain't no Antoine Winfield type going on here, man. We ain't playing. We ain't playing the Chicago. We ain't running cover. We ain't running that cover two, man. We ain't running the majority. So you need to be able to do both. They techniques suck these days. Wide receivers run shitty ass routes. Do all this fancy footwork to go nowhere. Do all these cone drills to go nowhere. Offensive line scared of doing a mirror drill. Like, when the hell do you see offensive line like this work on mirror drills? They don't even mirror drills and often and mirroring is a essential part. I don't give a fuck what scheme that you run in. If you can't make the basic blocks, then shit. What the hell are we doing here? If you can't successfully reach, what the fuck we doing here? You can't down block, what we doing here? If you can't big on big, what we doing here? If you can't pull, what we doing here? What we doing here? You can't get to the second level, what we doing here? This shit is important. The technique is weak. This shit is watered down. Like I said, they come with these fancy ass names for simple ass shit. That's always football has always been simple. Always. Do I expect for an evolution to come? Yes. But it's football always gonna be football. It's gonna always be the same route. No matter, like, for a wide receiver, it's always gonna be the same route. No matter what kind of fancy ass touch you put on it, it's gonna always be the same route. All that fancy ass shit that they be trying to do, right? What's the route tree? The route tree has been the same since everybody done played football. But these coaches make shit complicated. And it shouldn't be. The expectations are way down. Like, I know one thing that Zimmer probably get ready to go with this year is he ain't gonna be able to get at Michael Parsons because he gonna sit over there, get his feelings hurt. He gonna cry like a bitch. And then it's gonna be a whole bunch of BS going on because they don't want to hurt that boy feelings. Because his ass been kissed ever since he been playing Pop Warner to high school to college. And now when it's time to be accountable and really play some real football, he think it's the same shit. And it ain't. You got motherfuckers thinking Marshawn Nealon is some of the greatest things since sliced bread, not remembering that this month can't even beat tackles from Central Iowa, whatever the hell, or in Iowa. If you can't get the edge on them weak ass tackles, what makes you think that you're gonna get the edge on Laramie Tunsil, Panay Sewell, Jonah Williams, Andrew Thomas, Lane Johnson? Come on, G. We got to be real with this shit. Football is always going to be football, but it's watered down because technique, heart, desire ain't being taught. It ain't being taught no more. Cowboy football, so fucking what? And they kicked him out of practice for that soft ass shit. Bro, I was disgusted today. I'm like, you kicked him out of practice for that? Come on, G. I've seen him get his ass beat in that game. Right, he had a couple little decent reps though, but I seen him get his ass beat in that game. Shoot, if he was one of them ones, should I be like, man, I'm all for it, keeping him. But he was gonna get cut anyway. He was gonna get cut anyway. But stuff like that, back in the day, people wouldn't have tripped. But now the mindset is so soft and it's so watered down. Like the world got so goddamn soft. Football got so goddamn soft. Now they out here talking about. I see some little soft ass boy on Twitter talking about, oh my god, that's some salt on the street. We played a game where people physically assault each other for 60 minutes. And you go, oh, that's some salt on the street. Shut your soft ass up. This is a man's game. And there's things, no matter how talented you are, no matter how big and strong you are, it's a man's game. And that includes the mental part. You can't be no pussy playing football. You cannot be no pussy playing football. And the reason, and part of the reason why the Cowboys have been coming up short is because some of the star players is pussified. You see the way the Chiefs be playing? Like watching the Chiefs, that's probably the most technical people that I see from a whole team's perspective. Real spill. Like what's that boy name, man? I keep forgetting that boy name on Green Bay. I think it's Daniels. Is it Daniels? God damn, it's one of them though, but he was a cold ass run stopper on Green Bay. Man. But it's Mike Pennell. Boy, Mike Pennell a grown ass man. Mike Pennell ain't gonna sit over here and get off that ball like Aaron Donald. But Mike Pennell gonna come with that leverage. That boy's strong, and that boy gonna do his job. Mike Pennell ain't no star, but shit, the way he plays his role is star-like, and that's what the you need to win championships. You may not be no star, but the way you do your role is star-like. Zeke, hey, look, Zeke back. A lot of fans probably like it, but Zeke ain't gonna do shit. Zeke's slow as hell. I'm looking at Zeke in practice. It takes Zeke about 10 hours to go ahead. What that LMA song called 10,000 hours? Boy, it take that boy 10,000 hours to get the hell out the backfield. Zeke ain't gonna do shit this year. But be a short yardage back and maybe have a couple flashback games. That boy ain't about it. What, you think that boy gonna get 1,400 yards? If he do, shit, I'll Ruben stutter and apologize to that boy. But he ain't. He just glad to be back in that Cowboy uniform. That's all it is. That is all it is. Like we got we got this big 6'7" tight end, right? Who's supposed to be some hellified blocker. I'm looking at that boy today, right? Because I've never really looked at that boy, right? I'm looking at him today in practice. I'm like, how this boy, he gonna struggle with leverage. He gonna struggle with getting low. So I said, it's interesting. And some of the reps I've seen, I ain't even seen this so-called punishing blocker that they said we were supposed to be getting. Just like with Schoonmaker, we ain't seen shit punishing. of what he been doing. Like, he was supposed to be a hell of a blocker in his own right. He was the best blocker coming out of college. The year he came out, he was the best blocking tight end that we watched, and we watched a good amount of them. And when he got here, he ain't blocked not a goddamn thing. The only thing he blocked is the football from coming from his hands, scrub ass. Oh man, this is gonna be a hell of a season, ain't it? This is gonna be a hell of a season. The only thing so far on what you can say is good that we got from camp is Tyler Guyton probably being able to come in and we can roll with the punches with him week one. He's showing his talent. He's showing that you know, yeah. When many didn't believe in him, when many didn't think he was the best tackle coming out of college, which I said countless times and stood on that he was the best tackle coming out of college. Now he here showing. Hey, and he's showing a nasty streak too. Boy, he done pancake Jared Verse about 3-4 times. I'm like, oh, look at that boy. So, but we knew coming out the draft that the offensive line was the best thing smoking, was the best thing about the draft, which to this point has shown that that's been the case. Tyler Guyton probably going to end up starting, and Cooper Beebe going to end up starting. Those were the best things about that draft. So if they could play some ball, we good. My concerns, who gonna catch the rock? My concerns is we gonna have some type of explosion at running back. Is we gonna get Deuce Vaughn the ball? I'm looking at Deuce Vaughn. I'm like, man, I know he just came back from that hammy, but hey, like they acting like. See, this is my thing, right? And I'm glad I'm on live because I was thinking about talking about this, and I'm getting ready to close. I just want to talk a little bit. If Mike McCarthy, right? Like, if these professional coaches were supposed to be so damn smart, then why is these coaches ain't looking back at Darren Sproles' film and seeing how to go ahead and go about using Deuce Vaughn in that matter? I remember at times when Philadelphia would be banged up at the receiver position, and they would go through games where all they damn near had was maybe a wide receiver and Darren Sproles, and they would give the ball to Darren Sproles, and they would come out with a win. Somebody like Deuce Vaughn, why is Mike McCarthy and Schottenheimer not studying Darren Sproles' film and implementing that in their offense? But these are supposed to be professionals. You see, one thing you got to understand, right? Coaches, like some of these coaches, going to do things in their own way and bring their own flavor, but you got to adjust, and you got to, like, y'all supposed to be sitting over there students of this game. The first thing I thought about when Deuce Vaughn came up here, like, man, we could use him just like Darren Sproles. That's one of the first things that I thought about. But these people talk about the innovation. Innovating what? Like I said, football it's not complicated. It's easy. You just got to be a grown man to do it. You got to have a grown man mindset to do it. You got to be able to play some chess instead of playing checkers on that field, because your strength and your speed only take you so far. You got to think sometimes. You got to think before you do. I'm like, all right, I'm about to go ahead and bust him with this move. But after that, ain't no more thinking when that snap go. It's time to go full speed. How I was taught, if I'm going to mess up full speed. And we'll correct it as we go. Don't mess up half feet. Mess up full speed. Keep going. And sometimes when you mess up full speed, you're able to get some redemption in that same play because you're going full speed. Just like when we see some of these D tackles, right, getting pushed out their gap, but they kept fighting and they was able to get into the play. I don't know about y'all, but that's kind of concerning to see the way some of my D tackles was getting moved. If that was so-called supposed to be part of their technique, well, that's some of the same technical thing that Viliami Fahoku was doing. So why the hell is he getting moved to defensive end? Oh, because that ain't what Zimmer wants. Look at Big Linval Joseph. Y'all remember Big Linval Joseph? Hey, on some real stuff, I would consider signing him and pair him up. Phillips, Linval, Mozzie, Osa. Yes, indeed, I would. I'll call Linval old ass up and say what's up. Because you need it. Diggs came back, I guess, in full today. Back end gonna be what it's gonna be. Like I said, my thing is who gonna catch this ball? And this we're gonna have some linebackers that's gonna play with some force. This we're gonna have some D tackles, man, that's gonna do their job. I know we ain't gonna get elite play from them D tackles up, but can we get some solid D tackle play? D ends is already established pretty much for the most part. But that's what it is right there. Catching the rock. Who gonna catch this rock? Shit. Who gonna run this rock? Because we're gonna put some explosion back there, or you gonna get somebody else. The middle of the heart of your defense. Those are my concerns. Because everything else, I mean, we ain't gonna be able to make no perfect team. So you gotta roll with the punches how you gonna roll with it. But you gotta pick and choose what you're willing to go ahead and work through. And some of the weaknesses that we got right now, I don't think that'll be smart to go ahead and work through them type of weaknesses. If we're just being honest. If we're just being honest. So at the end of the day, y'all, right? When we watch the Dallas Cowboys this weekend, just remember, football is football. So if you seeing the defensive end not doing his job outside contain, don't overthink it. He messed up. If he not squeezing the space down, don't overthink it. He messed up. If a D tackle coming out of his gap and getting bullied, whether he going back 5-10 yards or he's going sideways 3-4 yards, don't overthink it. He getting bullied. If you got a linebacker that's sitting over there and not filling the gap the way he's supposed to with force, not playing with shock, not using shock to go ahead and get off these blocks or jam these guards and tackles up, don't overthink it. He playing like a sucker. If you got these running backs doing hella dancing and not hitting the hole the way they're supposed to, don't overthink it. He doing too goddamn much. If you got these wide receivers not getting separation, don't overthink it. That route probably wasn't crispy the way that they thought it was. All the time, man. At the end of the day, even a bad play call, somebody can still get open. If you beat your man. It's about beating your man. All this, I got to get schemed to get open. If you got to get schemed to get open, you a sorry-ass football player. If I got to use scheme all the time to get you open, you a sorry-ass football player. Because at times, I should be able to one-on-one, just like in the Super Bowl, where Cooper Kupp was out there busting up Eli Apple. They kept doing that. They was playing backyard football to get that Super Bowl. But if Cooper Cup couldn't win one-on-one, that wouldn't have been possible. So if I gotta scheme you to get open, you a sorry ass football player. If you can't beat your man one-on-one, you a liability. It's as simple as that. Football is football, y'all. Don't forget it. But yeah, man, Jordan Phillips, we're gonna see. Hot and cold. I don't know if he's gonna play this week, but to be honest with you, it ain't like he ain't in shape, and it ain't like what he's gonna be asked to do is gonna be something that he gonna be solving some damn Da Vinci Code. Play his ass this week. We only got 2 games. He need to get some reps. Evidently, the Giants had his ass out there playing. They gave him about 2 drives. So man, put his ass out there on Saturday. I think we play Saturday, right? Put his ass out there on Saturday and let him ball and see what we got. Because you gave up what? You gave up a 6th and you got back him in the 7th. Not really much, ain't nothing that you'll miss. But at the same time, we need to see what we got. Always worry, right? I know he a big ass D tackle and he got some quickness to him. But sometimes you got to think about, like, why would you give me him? If he was a solid player, why would you give me a solid player? You wouldn't help me out for no 6th-round pick. You must have don't think that he was a threat. Like, what if we called up Dan Quinn right now? Would Dan Quinn give me Jonathan Allen for a 5th-round pick? Hell no, he wouldn't. He'll make us pay. Would he give me Deron Payne for cheap? Hell no. He'll make us pay. So there must have been something. Either he may not be in shape, because sometimes that's been his problem too. Him not being in shape, him being a little bit overweight. Because he's a big ass boy now. He about 6'5", 6'6". He's a big ass boy. So there's some times where he might not be in the best shape that he should be. Or he could be lazy as shit. Hot and cold. All I know is for the Cowboys, hopefully it can be a similar situation like Hank. Now, I know he ain't Hank, but hopefully it could be a similar impact like Hank gave us. Because Hank, at a given time, he meant a lot to what we did. Even though it wasn't really much and we still suck in the run game, without Hank, it probably would have been that better. And then we seen what it was before we had Hank. It was god awful. Like, you got the Bears sitting over there putting up, what, like 200 yards on us? It was god awful. But that's my thoughts, man. Till the next time, y'all. We gone.